Welcome to Biography Central. You are listening to Life of Sri Ramakrishna, a complete biography. Chapter 29. Last visit to Kamarpukur. Shortly after his meeting with CH29, Sri Ramakrishna saw a wonderful vision. There arose in his mind a desire to see Sri Chaitanya's Sankirtan procession, to know what it was like. One day, as he was standing outside his room, he saw in a vision a large concourse of men proceeding from the direction of the Panchavati towards the main gate of the temple garden and gradually disappearing behind the trees. He saw that Sri Chaitanya, with his two greatest companions, Nityananda and Advaita, was slowly advancing in the midst of that gathering, beside himself with divine fervor, while the vast multitude was also caught in the vortex of that tidal wave of spirituality. Some were dancing wildly, while others were stupefied with joy. The mad scene of some 4 centuries back was again enacted before the eyes of the master. A few faces from amongst this congregation were clearly impressed upon his mind, and later on, he identified them in some of his prominent disciples. This led him to conclude that these devotees must have belonged to Sri Chaitanya's group. Sometime after this, he went to Kamarpukur for the last time. While there, he paid a visit to several villages and joined in the Sankirtan which the Vaishnavas held. His ecstasy resulting in frequent samadhi during the chant attracted the people. The news went abroad, and many other Sankirtan parties came to the scene. The place where the master was staying was thronged to its utmost capacity with men and women, and day and night the Sankirtan went on. This is his own description of the incident. When I was staying at Hridaya's, they took me to Shambazar. Just before entering the village, I had a vision of Sri Chaitanya, whence I understood that the people of the village were devotees of Chaitanya. The attraction of the Sankirtan was so great that for 7 days and nights there was constant gathering of people. All the time one could hear music and dancing and nothing else. People climbed on the top of walls and trees to watch the scene. I stopped at Nadabar Goswami's house, where there was a similar gathering throughout the day and night. In the morning, I used to slip away to a weaver's home for a little respite. But there too, the crowd soon found me out and appeared with their tom-toms and cymbals. Again, the same phenomenon. We used to bathe and have our meals at 3 in the afternoon. The report was noised abroad that there was a man who had died 7 times during the day and who had come back to life as many times. Lest I should have an apoplectic fit, Hridaya used to drag me to an open field, but there are also the same swarm of people and the same noise of tom-toms and cymbals. Hridaya rebuked them, saying, "What do you mean by dogging us like this? Have we never heard Sankirtans before?" From far-off villages, people used to come and remain during the night also. It was there I understood what divine attraction was like. In the Lord's play on earth as an incarnation, the attraction is due to the influence of Yogamaya, the Lord's inscrutable power, which throws a charm over the hearts of all. Sri Ramakrishna used to relate other interesting experiences during his visit. The local Goswamis, Vaishnava leaders, he said, came to quarrel with me. They thought we would claim a share of their dues, but they saw that I did not accept a single piece of cloth or even a piece of thread. Someone had described me to them as a knower of Brahman. Hence, they thought of testing me, and one of them put the question, why has he no rosary about his neck and no denominational mark on the forehead? He was answered by one among themselves, they have automatically dropped off like the dry branches of a coconut palm. With characteristic candor, he acknowledged the source of his familiar illustration, whenever he made use of it, and explained how it signified the spontaneous disappearance, on the dawning of knowledge, of all appendages from the seeker after truth. Ridiculing foolish dogmatism, Sri Ramakrishna said on more than one occasion, at Shambazar and adjoining villages there are families of weavers. Many of them are Vaishnavas, but how they talk. They asked about me. Which Vishnu does he accept? The Vishnu who preserves the universe? Oh, he is beneath our notice. And which Shiva? Well, we believe in the Atmarama Shiva, the Atmarmeswara Shiva. One of them suggested, well, you better explain to him which Hari you worship. Whereupon another retorted, my friend, why drag us into the matter? Settle it yourself. They were mere weavers by profession, and still they talked big. One or two incidents that happened during the master's stay at Kamarpukur, either on this or on some previous occasion, for he visited his native village almost every year during the rain, deserve mention, since they bring out some of the prominent features of his character. Once he was suffering from indigestion and had to live upon liquids. One night, after taking his supper of milk and barley water, he retired, as did the ladies of the house. Suddenly, at dead of night, he came out of his room with a staggering gait and called out to the women, "Are you all asleep? Will you give me anything to eat?" "Why, you have taken your cup of milk and barley water," replied one of the ladies. "When did I do it?" "I have just returned from Dakshineshwar," said the master. The ladies were puzzled. They realized that he was talking from another plane of consciousness. But what was to be done under the circumstances? There was nothing in the house they could offer him. One of them ventured to say, "There is nothing in the pantry except some parched rice. You may take a little of that. It won't hurt you." So saying, she brought some and offered it to him. But like a petulant child, he turned his face away and said that he did not care for it. They tried in vain to persuade him that any other kind of food would be injurious. Consequently, they had no alternative but to purchase at that unusual hour a quantity of sweets, and the master ate them all as well as the plate of parched rice. Everyone trembled to think what this heavy meal would do to him. But the next morning, to their great surprise and relief, they found Sri Ramakrishna better. The 2 pounds of sweets had cured him. Another time, when he was staying at his father-in-law's house at Jarambati, during the night, he became extremely hungry. There had been a feast during the day, and almost everything had been consumed. The ladies were greatly concerned, for there was only some rice soaked in water left. Sri Ramakrishna ate all the rice, enough for at least 3 men. Evidently, he was in an extraordinary mood, and that was why it did not affect him. How well did Sri Ramakrishna demonstrate by these apparently insignificant acts that the human mind regulates the functions of the body to meet the demands of the situation? We have already spoken of the fascination of his personality for people of both sexes. One day, he was to go to Hridaya's home via Jarambati. His constitution had become so delicate that he could not walk even a short distance. So a palanquin was brought, dressed in scarlet silk cloth, with a gold amulet on his arm, his lips crimson from betel. He was a picture of exquisite grace. A crowd had gathered to see him off. As he was about to enter the palanquin, he noticed the gathering and asked Hridaya the reason for it. "Well," said Hridaya, "you are going away, and they won't see you for some days. So they have come to have a parting look at you." "But they see me every day," said the master. "What new feature has attracted them in such large numbers today?" Hridaya said, "The thing is, you look so handsome in this dress, and they have come see you." Sri Ramakrishna was shocked to hear that people were attracted by his physical beauty. The very idea was repulsive to him. "What?" he exclaimed. "People crowding to see a man. I won't go. Wherever I may go, people will crowd like this." He returned to his room and took off the robe in utter disgust. In spite of the entreaties of Hridaya and others, he would not go out that day. His aversion to material things, including personal beauty, can be seen from this simple anecdote. After a few months' stay at Kamarpukur, Sri Ramakrishna returned to Dakshineshwar. Among the many visitors who came, there was a rich Marwari gentleman named Lakshmi Narayan, who held Sri Ramakrishna in great esteem. One day, he noticed a soiled coverlet on the master's bed and at once offered to deposit in the bank in his name a sum of 10,000 rupees, so that his needs might always be supplied. The proposal was so painful to Sri Ramakrishna that he besought him with folded hands never to mention the subject again. Finding all his importunities futile, the Marwari next approached Hridaya and pressed him to accept the money in the name of the Holy Mother, who would thereby be enabled to look to the master's comforts. When this was made known to the master, he again objected, saying that even in that case the money would practically be his, and he could not bear the idea of having any possessions. The generous man still insisted. Finding argument of no avail, Sri Ramakrishna cried out in anguish, "O mother, why dost thou bring such people here, who want to estrange me from thee." At this pathetic appeal, the Marwari desisted. Referring to this incident, the master afterwards remarked, "At the offers of Mothur and Lakshmi Narayan, I felt as if somebody were sawing through my skull." The following incident illustrates how repugnant the idea of planning things for the future was to him. For some days, he noticed Hriday busying himself with a calf, tying it here, moving it about, and so on. Being curious, he asked Hriday what he was going to do with the calf. "Why," answered Hriday, "I shall take it home. In a few years, it will grow into a fine animal for the plow." No sooner did the master hear it than he fell into a swoon. Recovering from it after a long time, he exclaimed, "Just look at the spirit of hoarding in worldly people. Now, it is but a calf. It will grow big and then help to till the fields. They plan so far ahead and do not lean upon God. Ah, this is Maya." He likened the shock he felt on this occasion to a blow on the head. At this time, there arose a tremendous longing in his mind to meet his devotees, the pure souls whom the mother had already shown him in spiritual forms during his transcendent visions. The time had come to train the instruments that were to give his message to the world, and he was burning with desire to pass on his realizations to the favored children of the mother. About this he would say later, "There was no limit to the yearning I had then. During the daytime, I managed somehow to control it. The secular talk of the worldly minded was galling to me, and I would look forward wistfully to the day that my beloved companions would come. I hoped to find solace in conversing with them and unburdening my mind by telling them of my realizations. Every little incident would remind me of them, and thoughts of them wholly engrossed my mind. I was already arranging in my mind what I should say to one and give to another, and so on. But when the day came to a close, I could not curb my feelings. The thought that another day had gone and they had not come oppressed me. When during the evening service the temple rang with the sound of bells and conch shells, I would climb to the roof of the building in the garden and, writhing in anguish of heart, cry at the top of my voice, "Come, my boys! Oh, where are you? I cannot bear to live without you." A mother never longs so intensely for the sight of her child, nor a friend for his companion, nor a lover for his sweetheart, as I did for them. Oh, it was indescribable. Shortly after this, yearning the devotees began to come in. I hope you like this chapter. We need volunteers and sponsors to create content with even better quality and with more variety. If you wish to join this initiative as a volunteer or sponsor, please click the links given in description below. To help us reach more viewers, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Biography Central. Thank you for your time. It means a lot. Namaste.